You cannot have peace living at this pace. Let's get into it. Hey you guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Kobe, I'm a licensed trauma therapist, and here's a place where we chat, I share information, and hopefully you learn something that can help you heal in your life. Today, we're talking about how the way that we live affects our healing, which sounds so simple, but I don't think a lot of people get the fullness of the science of that reality. So I'm going to go into some of that today. So I started the episode by saying you can't have peace living at this pace. Why did I say that? Well, I said that because I think a lot of us are stressed out, burnt out, exhausted, and we think that the solution is pushing through because that's what we've been taught by society, by our parents, by our boss, by our managers. Like, just hold on, just keep pushing through. And even though pushing through can have its benefits at certain times, pushing through when you don't have enough strength can cause a strain, not just physically, but emotionally. And I think a lot of us are looking for peace, and peace is not going to come from us pursuing the thing that's burning us out. Peace can't come from us continuing down the path that's led us to exhaustion and depression. So what is peace? What is peace? Like, on a biological level, what is peace? Peace is responsiveness and connectedness. Something that people talk a lot about is nervous system regulation. That's really what they're talking about when they say peace. Nervous system regulation. I think that societally, we've kind of turned nervous system regulation into this calmness, like I'm unbothered. Nothing hurts my feelings, nothing frustrates me, when really nervous system regulation is being able to respond appropriately while staying connected to ourselves and to the people we want to be connected to. So to have peace, we have to feel our feelings. I promise it's going to all come together. Why do we have to feel our feelings? Well, our feelings are often expressed through our nervous system. When we are anxious, that is our nervous system being activated. When we're angry, that's nervous system activation. When we're happy, that is a positive type of nervous system activation. When we're excited, that's a positive type of nervous system activation. So how does this all tie in? When we are pushing through, I like to call it white knuckling. I've heard someone else say it. I can't remember who coined the term. But when we are pushing through, and we are white knuckling it, we are often removing ourselves from the emotional experience. We're often saying, I'm pushing the emotion out, gotta do what I gotta do. But when we push the emotion out and we focus on just going down the same path that's already stressed us out, we put ourselves in a position where we leave information that is valuable to our lives on the table. Our nervous system is telling us about how we are experiencing our environment. Our emotions are a biological appraisal of our environment. Our healthy emotions are a biological appraisal of our environment based on our values. I'm in this space, I appraise the space, I filter it through my values, not consciously, it just happens. Filter it through my values, and then it creates an emotion. The emotion is a chemical release in the body. Why is this all important? I promise I'm trying to connect it all in a way, because I know it's like a lot of nerd language, but I promise it's going to get to the heart stuff. If the environment you're in is one that makes you feel sad all the time, that is your body saying, in this space, I've assessed the situation. My body has metabolized what I believe the situation to be, and it does not give me joy. Why would you want to continue to be in that situation? Why would you want to continue to find a way to exist in that situation? Why would you want to continue to push through? See where I'm going with this? It can be easy for us to remove ourselves mentally and just not have the resource to understand what pushing through in a direction that harms us really does to us. So what are emotions when they're not healthy? Emotions are still appraisals of the situation, but they're appraisals of situations in the past, in the present. Does that make sense? We're appraising, we're sensing and experiencing in our bodies past situations in the present, right? That's what being triggered is, by the way, is not just thinking about the past, it's biologically re-experiencing the past. Like if you put like electrodes on the body of a person who was having a trigger, their body would be literally experiencing the same thing in the present that they experienced in the past moment that they still are tied to or still are processing. And I say all this to say, I know that I've come to a place, and a lot of people that I serve come to a place where we're asking ourselves, why am I figuring out how to exist in a place that brings up emotions that make me feel less like myself? I don't feel like the person God's called me to be. I don't feel creative. I don't feel joyful. So why am I trying to like configure ways to exist here? Why am I trying to like keep the pace, go down this path, knowing that this path makes me sad and anxious and angry and frustrated? So I want you to ask yourself that. Is there a path that you're trying to continue down that you're already on and makes you not feel great? If you are, why? What makes you want to go down that path? What makes you want to figure out how to exist? Because we don't just pursue things that hurt us. We pursue things that hurt us because they give something else to us. There's something that we're not willing to let go of so that we can release the reality of a space that harms us more than it gives to us. If you're someone who's like, I'm ready to change, I'm ready to find a new direction, a new space, I am in that space, which is why I'm here. I'm not typically on YouTube, but here we are. You have to change the pace of your life. I think that's been like one of the hardest things for me to process. I cannot work at the pace, at the level, at the intensity, with the fervor that I have if I want my life to be a life of peace. If working at that intensity, at that level did not bring me peace, then why am I trying to find a way to continue it? If you are driving down a road and you need to change positions, if you want to exit, whether it's exiting off a ramp or literally making a U-turn and turning around and going in opposite direction, you have to pump the brakes. You are at risk of crashing if you're trying to stay going 80, but turn around and go a different direction. I feel like somebody needs to hear that if you want the peace that you're looking for, you have to be aware of what you're experiencing in your body. You have to keep track of the emotions that spaces bring up, and you have to slow down. That's going to feel like your entire life is changing, and it's because it is. It's going to feel like, oh my goodness, who am I? I have all this space. What do I do with all this space? You dream, you ideate, you create, you process, you connect with other people. You find a way to regulate your emotions, right? Regulating our emotions is about being able to respond appropriately to stimuli, and then also being able to feel connected to ourselves and to others. You can't connect to something that's going 100 miles per hour. It's just gonna blow right past you. And when it does, it's gonna hurt. And I think a lot of us are looking for peace. A lot of us are looking for something has to change. Something has to shift. The American dream just isn't, it's a mirage, really. And I feel like a lot of us have been in the desert long enough that we're realizing it. That like we have to find a different destination because we were led to a place that doesn't have the water and the resources that we need to survive in the way that we need to. So we have to slow down so that we can change positions, change directions, and get peace. So it's a short word for today, but that was on my heart, that we cannot have peace at the pace that we're going. We have to slow down. We have to regulate our nervous system. Regulating our nervous system is a biological practice, meaning it's not just like thinking yourself calm. Regulating your nervous system is about movement. It's about touch. It's about connection, which is so uncomfortable for so many people. Trust me, as a therapist, like it makes people so uncomfortable breathing, practicing breathing techniques. In the last video I did, we did some deep breathing, but practicing breathing techniques, practicing taking time to sit in silence and listening to our bodies. Let our bodies tell us. Our bodies will tell us the stories that we don't want to hear. What hurts? What aches? What feels uncomfortable? Why does silence feel so loud? Because a lot of us don't have peace. We don't. We're exhausted. We're burnt out. And if we want the peace, we have to slow down. We have to listen. We have to change directions. So I wanted to end our time with a really simple practice that helps with nervous system regulation. So I'm going to nerd out for a second. you're going to follow me and you're going to come out with more information and with resources for yourself and for other people that you can use. So, nervous system regulation tip. Deep breathing. I know you've heard all the different types of breathing. I'm going to help you with all the different types of breathing another time, but I'm going to give you one tip that matters more than anything else. When you're having a panic attack, when you're overwhelmed, when you're scared, when you're anxious, all of it. Here's the one tip. Breathe out longer than you're breathing in. Breathe out longer than you're breathing in, right? What that does is it switches our nervous system from the activated fight, flight, and it switches it to what we call rest and digest, which is like the part of the nervous system that's activated when we are Netflix and chilling, right? So when we breathe out, isn't that cool that God created that? It blows my mind when I think about it. When we breathe out longer than we breathe in, it literally switches our biological disposition, right? So what I would get my client to do, or you to do at home, put your hand over your heart, other hand on your belly. I just like to do simple counts. I like to do the 2 counts out more than in. So maybe I'll breathe in for 4 and breathe out for 6. Breathe in for 4. Out for 6. Whenever you feel exhausted, frustrated, overwhelmed, do that. That's what I do. That's what I tell my clients to do when they're like, well, how do I get through, a panic attack? There's so many different things that we can do. But sometimes our brain is just kind of like, I can't think through the 3-2 box breathing, all the different configurations, right? As you develop skills, you'll get more of that. And I'll share more of that. I can't wait to. But focus on breathing out longer than you're breathing in. So I hope today was helpful for you. If you want more information, more resources, make sure to rate, subscribe, and comment. Listen, I'm new to YouTube, so I'm still trying to figure out the things that we're supposed to do here. Also, I want to tell you guys about an amazing partner that I have, Kinship. Kinship is a platform for authentic conversation and real connection. It's a place where you get talks just like this, and then afterwards you get to process the talks with people who are interested in the exact same subject. So if you use the code KOBE, KOBE, you get 1 full month for free. It's an amazing, amazing platform for mental health. So go to ourkinship.com/KOBE, KOBE, and sign up today. You guys, I'll talk to you soon. We will chat about, I don't know, what will we chat about next? Put it in the comments. Let me know what you want to chat about next, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.